would use something like cinnamon to make it. God, oh God. Jesus, please. Matt Roloff, star of Little People, Big World, and his girlfriend Caryn Chandler were involved in an automobile accident. Matt Roloff is undergoing medical treatment after being admitted to the hospital. He is battling death. I'll tell you all about it. Hi there, everybody. We have terrible news that has shocked the TLC community and beyond, and we bring it to you tonight. Tonight, Little People, Big World's adored patriarch Matt Roloff is battling for his life following a devastating vehicle accident in which his partner, Caryn Chandler, was involved. Although specifics are still being worked out, the situation is said to be very serious. Matt is in critical condition after being admitted to a hospital in the Portland region. According to family sources, he is in severe condition and, sadly, is battling death. Although her status is said to be stable, Caryn Chandler was also hurt in the collision. This is a work in progress, and we will provide you with all verified information as soon as it becomes available. Matt Roloff allowed us into his world for more than 20 years. The victories, hardships, and unwavering love and effort that made Roloff Farms a household name. Millions of people admired him because of his tenacity, spirit of entrepreneurship, and commitment to his family in spite of its difficulties. His longtime companion and farm manager, Caryn Chandler, emerged as a pivotal character in both his life and the play. Tonight, their story of overcoming the difficulties of blended families and farm life struck a profound chord. That a moment of unspeakable violence on an Oregon highway has rocked the world. Eyewitness testimonies and preliminary law enforcement reports help us piece together what happened in the crash. It took place at approximately 6:45 p.m. yesterday. Highway 26 close to the Oregon town of Banks, Pacific Time. One major impact was the weather. Heavy rain makes the roads slick and reduces vision. The rain was really coming down. A few cars behind, I was. This SUV caught my eye. It appeared as though it might have hydroplaned or collided with a deep puddle. It appeared to lose control, fishtailed wildly, and then veered directly into the path of the large rig approaching from the opposite direction. The effect was horrifying. It was merely a horrible crushing noise. I instantly stopped and dialed 911. So did others. We sprinted in its direction. But the devastation was terrible. The driver's side of the SUV was just smashed. The initial investigation indicates that Matt Roloff, who was operating the SUV, most likely hydroplaned because of the too much water on the road. Due to this loss of traction, the car spun out of control, crossed the center line, and struck the eastbound tractor-trailer head-on. The crash was devastating because of the extreme size and weight difference. The side of the SUV that was driven by Matt Roloff took the brunt of the impact. Matt was gently cut free from the wreckage using the jaws of life, a lengthy and intricate extrication procedure that took around 45 minutes, according to emergency services. Caryn. Although stuck as well, Chandler in the front passenger seat was released a little earlier. At the scene, the wolves were unconscious. Medics were on the scene working feverishly. It was quickly determined that Matt's injuries were potentially fatal. He was taken to Portland's Oregon Health and Science University, OHSU, hospital, a Level I trauma center prepared to handle the most serious situations, via air ambulance. Caryn Chandler was sent to a nearby regional hospital via ground ambulance, and then she was moved to OSU for additional assessment and care for her wounds. Last night, there was a great deal of tension and controlled anarchy at OSU. Matt Roloff was critically ill when he arrived. Speaking under strict secrecy due to patient privacy restrictions, our sources inside the hospital described the terrifying struggle that started as soon as he stepped into the trauma bay. It was the worst possible. Multiple serious injuries affecting various body systems is known as polytrauma. We are discussing severe brain trauma. Due to his dwarfism, the biomechanics of the impact, the pre-existing stresses on his spine and joints, suspected bleeding, severe chest trauma, probably broken ribs, possible lung contusions, internal bleeding, and extremity injuries, including complex fractures, it made matters more complicated. He had erratic vital signs. It was touch and go at once. He immediately entered emergency surgery. Hours were spent working by the surgical team. The main priorities are halting internal bleeding and providing relief from pressure brought on by his brain's enlargement. According to reports, a craniotomy was carried out by surgeons, who removed a portion of the skull to give the brain space to grow and stop additional harm. Additionally, they treated potentially fatal internal injuries in his chest and abdomen. Given his general state of health and the intricacy of his skeletal anatomy, the procedure was extremely risky. After the lengthy procedure, Matt was moved to the NCCU, or Neurocritical Care Unit. He's still there tonight, using a ventilator to help him stay highly sedated, breathing and being closely watched all the time. His status is classified as critical but stable, which means that while he is not currently getting worse, he is nonetheless in a very precarious position. It is said that the next 24 to 72 hours are vital. There is still a very significant chance of infection, subsequent brain damage, and other issues. Despite not being as quickly fatal as Matt's, Caryn Chandler's experience was nonetheless horrifying and traumatic. She sustained several fractures. According to sources, a cracked clavicle, a broken arm, and damaged ribs. She had multiple cuts and bruises in addition to a severe concussion. It is impossible to quantify the emotional toll of seeing the guy she loves sustain such severe injuries just a few feet away. She was brought in for monitoring and care. She is allegedly very disturbed and severely drugged for pain, but she is nonetheless cognizant and understandably totally focused on Matt's condition. For the Roloff family, the news was like a physical blow. There were calls in the dead of night. According to reports, one of the first people informed was Amy Roloff, Matt's ex-wife and longtime friend as well as the mother of his kids. She is described as saddened yet stepping up by family members, going to the hospital right away to be there for her kids and support them despite their difficult past. It's complete destruction. The children, Zach, Jeremy, Jacob, and Molly, are in pieces. They hurried to the medical facility. There's just this denial, this numbness. Amy is devastated. For Matt. Fearful for her children. The grandchildren are perplexed. Everything suddenly stops on the farm. The only important thing is that Matt makes it through. Right now, the family dynamics and old conflicts don't matter. Their hope and their terror are the same. Tonight, Rel, the hive of activity and the location of most of Matt's life's work, is eerily silent. Operations are permanently halted. The farm's future, the future of small people, and the future of the entire globe all rest on the equilibrium, overpowered by the fervent need to keep Matt alive. With their own families and businesses, Jeremy and Roloff have put everything on wait. Alongside their father are Jacob and his spouse, Isabel. It is believed that Molly, who lives farther away, is going to Portland. At the hospital, the family has kept vigil. Overwhelmed by the circumstances, they have not yet released any official statements. A representative for a close relative only stated, "The family begs privacy during this." As the news of the accident spread like wildfire, it sparked an unprecedented wave of shock and grief across social media and fan communities. The hashtag Pray for Matt Roloff exploded globally, trending within hours. Fans who grew up watching Matt build his farm, raise his family, and overcome countless obstacles shared their memories and heartfelt prayers for Matt during this extremely difficult time. The network TLC issued a brief statement saying, "We are heartbroken to learn about the accident involving Matt Roloff and Caryn Chandler. Our thoughts and deepest prayers are with Matt, Caryn, and their entire family during this incredibly difficult time." Other TLC stars and personalities from across the reality TV landscape also expressed their support, with messages pouring in from the Bates family, the Browns of Sister Wives, and many others expressing their shock and offering prayers. As the immediate fight to save Matt's life continues in the NCCU, medical experts we've consulted emphasize the long uncertain road that lies ahead. If he stabilizes sufficiently. Fans have started to gather at Roloff Farms despite the absence of the family. A small impromptu memorial of flowers, candles, and handwritten notes is growing at the main gate, a tangible expression of the love and hope pouring out for Matt and Caryn. The first major obstacle is stabilizing Mr. Roloff. If he stabilizes, the focus will be on minimizing secondary damage, preventing infections like pneumonia, managing intracranial pressure, and supporting his other injured organs. It will be days or even weeks before the extent of his brain injury is fully known, as recovery from severe traumatic brain injury is unpredictable and may involve weeks or months in intensive care, followed by extensive rehabilitation, relearning basic functions, addressing. It's a marathon, not a sprint, requiring tremendous fortitude from the patient and his family. The investigation into the cause of the accident is still ongoing, and Oregon State Police are building up the scene, checking to see if the vehicle data recorders are working, analyzing witness accounts, and evaluating variables like vehicle speed, road conditions, and possible mechanical failure. Toxicology reports are routine, but they take time. Investigators will attempt to answer the following questions. Was speed a factor? Could road conditions have been better managed? Hydroplaning is the leading theory. Caryn Chandler's physical recovery will be painful but easier, involving weeks of physical therapy, managing concussion symptoms, and healing fractures. The psychological scars, however, from witnessing such trauma and fearing for her partner's life, will probably take much longer to heal. Wellness. The story tonight is not only one of destruction, but also of intense love and unwavering hope in the face of such overwhelming tragedy. The picture of the Roloff children, Amy and Caryn, standing together in their vigil in spite of everything, says a lot about the ties that bind this family together, even in the face of past hardships. Matt Roloff is renowned for his unbreakable spirit. His entire life has been a testament to overcoming the odds stacked against him because of his dwarfism. He built an empire from the ground up. As one longtime friend sobbed, "If anyone can fight their way back from this, it's Matt." He faced complex family challenges in the public eye. He has a fighter's heart. The global outpouring of prayers and positive energy is palpable. Millions are holding Matt and Caryn in their thoughts tonight. That collective hope, that focused intention, while intangible, does not compare to the strength of Matt Roloff's willpower. Creates a strong force around the family. Matt Roloff's story has always been about breaking free from limitations, dreaming big, working hard, and loving fiercely. Tonight, he faces his biggest challenge and is battling the hardest battle of his life, supported by his family's love, millions of people's prayers, and the committed work of a top-notch medical team. His body is broken, but the spirit that makes him who he is still fighting. We at Motion 24 are keeping. Our thoughts and prayers are with Matt Roloff and Caryn Chandler, as well as their children, grandchildren, Amy, and the entire extended family and close friends who are going through this unfathomable pain. We ask that everyone respect their deep need for privacy during this crucial time. More update. How Matt Roloff is rubbing his happiness in Amy's face. Matt Roloff is terrified that his relationship with fiancée Caryn Chandler could change after they get married. On the most recent episode of Little People Big, the TV personality talked about his inner turmoil regarding the possibility of marriage. Matt Roloff, the featured star of Little People, Big World, told his friends, including Amy's husband Chris Murick, on the most recent episode of the popular TLC show that he is terrified of getting married again, despite his earlier statement that he is looking forward to spending the rest of his life with his girlfriend Caryn Chandler. However, the couple may be rethinking their wedding plans. The reality star made public his terrified conversation with his fiancée, to whom he proposed in April of last year, about their relationship's potential failure, despite the fact that he cannot imagine himself with anyone other than Caryn. He also expressed his concern that their relationship will change after they exchange vows. When Matt's friend Ta noticed that he appeared frightened, Matt decided to open up about how terrified he is of getting married during a leisurely evening at his log cabin. "We have been married and love it, so it's not that we have anything against marriage in general, but is it really necessary to do that? For the time being, the 56-year-old Roloff Farms owner and Caryn are simply taking it easy and enjoying their engagement," he explained. "Everything is working so beautifully right now. After all, our motto is to not fix what is not broken. Friends, whenever we bring it up, we always promise to revisit the subject in a few weeks, months, or whatever." Chris, 61, disclosed that he had gone through something similar while trying to console his friend, with whom he had become closer in recent months. His second emotion was anxiety. "At 59 years old, I certainly did not feel obligated to tie the knot," he said. "But I've heard innumerable stories about long-term partners whose relationships changed dramatically at the altar. Fortunately, that was not the case." "Nothing changed," the realtor continued. "In confessional, the LPBW actor and Caryn talked about how they were securing their Arizona property to test the waters for the next chapter of their relationship. "We have begun to wonder, hey, does this alter anything?" He disclosed that they had talked about returning to their wedding plans after they were certain the mansion was real. Matt went on, "We are considering all of our options, and we place a great importance on marriage and its tenets, perhaps with the potential exception of selling your property and moving in." In April of last year, Matt and Caryn got engaged. They've been together for 6 years. In the words of the reality TV personality who made the declaration, "I proposed to Caryn after we were together for 6 amazing years, and she accepted," People exclusively reported. "The purpose of our engagement is to enjoy, and we look forward to a simple yet exquisite wedding in 2024. According to a related announcement, after 25 seasons, Zach and Tori Roloff have decided to retire from Little People, Big World. We've closed that section. The couple first had a romantic relationship when Caryn worked at Roloff Farms. Later, Matt talked about how happy he was to be engaged. He disclosed his May Instagram post, which said, "Making TV series and mostly just." To his followers, the businessman said, "Enjoying my engagement and time with Caryn. So I did. You guys kept pushing me to put a ring on her." Matt and Amy, who co-starred in LPBW, were married for 28 years before divorcing in 2015. How Amy is being irritated by Matt Roloff's joy. After divorcing Amy Roloff, Matt Roloff of Little People, Big World is content with his new relationship with Caryn Chandler. However, he seemed to be attempting to make Amy feel happy for him. Amy's treatment by Matt demonstrates his inflated feeling of self-importance. Matt was responsible for the conflict in the Roloff household. Zach, his child, and his father's divorce from Amy had severely strained their relationship, as evidenced by their time spent in the desert attending a performance with Caryn's father and a few others. A picture of Matt and his fiancée Caryn Chandler in May 2024, having a great time and enjoying every second, was posted online, brimming with happiness at a concert, attending a desert performance, and spending time with Caryn's parents and friends. As if Matt felt compelled to convince Amy and his family that he could live better without them, the patriarch of the Roloff family captioned the photo with a vibrant portrait of Matt and Caryn, writing, "Enjoying ourselves and living our best lives." The Little People Big World actor showed off his new life to his family, without considering their disapproval. Family. Aside from the happy picture with Caryn, Matt was constantly abusive to Amy. Amy accused Matt of having an affair with Caryn, even though they were still legally married. If proven true, this accusation is a serious breach of confidence. Matt shows no regard for Amy's interests or feelings when he sells off a portion of the family farm without first consulting Amy or their children, which further widened their rift and was Matt's fault. Despite playing the villain in Little People, Big World, Matt has been forthright once his non-disclosure agreement expired, "No matter how much you complain about the family's inseparable feuds, and we do see the truth in the 5 most popular questions people asked him on Instagram," Matt wrote on his Facebook page, explaining his answers in detail. In spite of the criticism, Matt continued to act rudely towards Amy after their split. Remarks, "The ratings continue to rise, and it is becoming increasingly difficult to maintain the same caliber of content." Matt essentially responded to his critics by claiming that the drama was the show's hook. Matt spared no detail in announcing his admirers, and he continued by saying that, contrary to popular belief, viewers prefer romantic tension over happy endings. There are fewer on-screen interactions between the cast members as production becomes more difficult with Chris and. When Matt talked about the property, he appeared more remorseful and less vindictive. As a father, Matt says he was put in a difficult situation when Zach and Jeremy Roloff expressed interest in buying the big house. He had a lot on his plate between his financial situation, the demands of his family, and the strict Oregon regulations governing property split. The most important thing, the father said, was being fair to all 4 of his children. Caryn joining the ensemble and helping to replace certain family members. Despite the fact that the show depicted Matt as cold and uncaring towards Amy and his children, he may have simply wanted to be fair, or he may have been trying to hide his mistakes without taking responsibility, which would explain his defensive behavior. Little People. Big World star Matt Roloff fears guests at Oregon farm filmed dirty obscene stuff during their stay and vows to make new. Actor Matt Roloff, 62, made an odd confession on the 25th season of TLC's No Pornos rule. Little People Big World, When his fiancée, Caryn Chandler, returned from her vacation in Arizona, Heat brought up the fact that their previous guest had been filming there. The confession came months after Audrey Roloff had made her pregnancy public, and Roloff admitted that they had no idea if the people filming were recording removians on people's actions. Strict. He cautioned Caryn about making a Remo v. He video on their property. Chandler laughed and asked how he knew what kind of films were being made, even though he did not want their home to be identified. How did you know what kind of recordings were being filmed? Someone would chuckle as soon as it appeared and ask, "Isn't that the Roloff living room, whether we would it or wouldn't?" I will engage in this short-term renting at the moment due to the uncertain economic situation, but my end objective remains the sale of the north side, Roloff continued. The massive house on Roloff's farm was first put up for sale in May 2022, and a few months later, in October, he converted it into a vacation rental. The idea of short-term rentals has been a huge success, and we are almost fully booked, Roloff says further in the introduction. Each situation is unique, he acknowledged, but of the 20 or 30 that we have had so far, referring to the one event in particular, there will be groups that are great, and then there will be groups that are fascinating, like the time he mentioned Grandma and the kids to Chandler, who joked that it was like a Roloff reunion. You might imagine these lovely tiny families when you undertake these short-term rentals. A few months prior to the show, Audrey Roloff revealed she was expecting her fourth child with husband Jeremy. The couple, who already have two sons, Bode and Radley, ages 3 and 2, respectively, and a daughter, Ember, who is 6 years old, posted a heartwarming family video to Instagram on Monday to share the news. "Look, there was a pool cue in the wall," he said, referring to the incident in which someone attempted to wash wine glasses down the drain, sending glass fragments flying everywhere. No more today. What are your thoughts on this rumor today? Please share your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe to our channel for more updates like this. Thank you. The relatives shared the news as they formed a queue amid the beautiful autumn foliage. At the end of the queue, young Bradley announced that he would be a big brother, and Jeremy responded with a middle finger.